It is said that culture is the people's way of life, but to some, it's beyond that. In Abor, a peaceful town located on the hillside of Ojibogene, in the local government area of Enugu State, for the people of this community, culture is not just a way of life, but also an heritage, a legacy, and walking in footprints of their forebearers. Over the years, people have feared and demonized some cultural practices, particularly Odana, which some extremists has even gone as far as calling them evil cults. So what then is Odana, and what does it mean to the people of Omavolo Jalegwa?
Total misconception, but I don't blame those that have that impression, because from inception, Odana was not meant to be based for everybody to understand, because of its intended service to society. To talk about paganism and relate it to Odana is severe ignorance. Odana has nothing to do with paganism. It's not a system of worship. Instead, it was a system of governance in its time. It regulated the systems of worship available in the community. Of course, at its inception, when it was conceived and instituted, then the predominant religion was the African traditional religion, Abor version, right? So, and all Odana does is to adapt to regulate the prevailing systems of worship in its environment. So, and because Odana was built to last, was built to be dynamic, when newer religions started creeping in, then Odana immediately adapted. That was why it was very easy to welcome other foreign religions like Christianity, Islam, and even some others that are not mainstream.
What is a cult? Well, whether it's a secret cult in the mood of all these other secret cults that you know, where they kill people, they do all this, the answer will be no, capital no. Or whether it is a cult, it's a kind of cult. And in the write-up we did, we mentioned that Odo cult is an Odo cult, it's a cult, if that is what you want to find out. Well, let us say something ab initio. Like I said, yeah, the other cult was that, like I said, Odo is kind of somehow strange to our people of old. You understand me? It was something that they embraced, something that others introduced, but it became a way of life. And Odo now dominated all aspects of our being as a people.
But the truth is that the average black man doesn't seem to understand that his forefathers had a lot of value, had a lot of order, men of nobility and integrity. So the thing is how to get this message to every black man or black woman to understand that, look, even though we may be developmentally disadvantaged, but in terms of order and societal values, our forefathers had it a lot. And so for us, the challenge is how to get this message across to everybody so that they will understand that there's a lot of positives to learn, a lot of things to learn from our forefathers, which we can actually integrate into the society today.
The importance of the culture, when Odana came in, it was a governance culture. It was a religious culture. It was also a culture that came in to provide proper systems of government. You know.
ha ma bụ na asịrị anyị mewe kịta nụ anyị na-eme anyị na-ekwe ka ụmụaka na-eso anyị na-azụ ka ha ghọta ahụ na omenala dị mkpa ka onye ọbụla nnukwu ekwe ite mara ihe dị be nna anya mara soro ihe na-eme ihe be nna anyị.
According to oral history, Odana has various components which has impacted positively in the life of their ancestors as well as the modern society. It has also played a vital role in the past, such as security, sports, as well as discipline.
The different components of Odo are one, the security. Security is divided into two. The defensive and the policing. The policing is for internal security, while the defensive is for protection against external aggression. There is the law and order. That is what you can call legal. It is warehoused in what we call Oha. Those days, they were the ones that will sit and hear cases when they are made against individuals and adjudicate on the matter. Then there is the entertainment component. There is the sports component. And there is technology. There is poetry. There is medicine, craft. So Odumagana was a complete way of life for our people. It was a system of governance way ahead of its time.
In modern times, Odo may not be able to play those roles that Odo played those days. If you talk about security, Odo cannot surmount or surpass police or local vigilantes and all these things. But that discipline, there's an element of discipline that comes with Odo activities. That discipline among our youth, among our people, is still there. That aspect is still there. Then the issue of the sporting aspect of Odo is still very, very relevant up to today. Because you look at what we do every day during Odo season, what they call is Odo. It's a way of going to show, to keep people physically fit. You run around the community, you do everything. So last time we did our own. Virtually everybody in our place participated, even some elderly ones. It was an opportunity for them to exercise themselves. Some of them have not undergone that kind of exercise for years. But this Odo something provided them that opportunity. So if you tell me about security like in the olden days, it's not going to be possible now. You understand me? Odo hardly these days is even allowed to discipline somebody or beat somebody with cane or use knife or other instruments of coercion and aggression.
Oral history also has it that Odana played a significant role in the epidemic of the 1950s, and particularly the cleansing of the land, which brought healing to the community during a pandemic in the 1950s.
Oge ahụ ihe ahụ meghere ọya na-eku ọya bịara mgbe m wee si na odo wee baa n'akwa okweke ịma na ọ bụghị every year ka odo na-anata ọ bụghị every year odo wee baa n'akwa okweke n'akwa na ọmụ ya wee fụta according to ndị mara mgbe mụrụ ụmụ amaghị si na o kpochefuru ihe ndị a.
In a bid to carry both the Christians and the traditionalists along, Abor formed Cultural Committee in order to identify and remove those practices that are no longer in tune with modern state practices. And even though a lot has been achieved, more are yet to be done, and the journey has not been an easy one.
Yakana Demba Devem, Amana Barambada, Matawani, Obe Bamwana, Bajanya, Majago, Obe Mana, Matana, Dalibi, Tamayosa, and Chana.
Let's say that there were this issue of meddlesomeness, interlopeness between Christianity and the traditionalists. It was still very, very high that time. Hardliners, Christians that were hardliners, traditionalists that were hardliners. So our greatest challenge was to, create a midstream wherein people will realize that anybody can participate in culture, irrespective of your system of worship, be you Muslim, Christian, or African traditional religionists. Culture is supreme. Culture is all.
It is our duty as educated sons of our forefathers to bring these things out so that people will understand that even in the modern society today, we need to restore the sanity and the order that our forefathers had. That is the essence of the Reformation. So we went about trying to get our people to see that there are positives that we can derive from these tenets that our forefathers left us. That they are actually not demonic, that they are in fact godly. They are godly and can be fully integrated into our Christian practice.
Plan. One of the biggest issues was to make people understand that this is going to be a long thing and the need for documentation. And how do we make a presentation with something that embodies education, entertainment, religiosity, and all that. Because remember that Odomagana, the masquerading and the mask, embodies both these values, including using it as an instrument to worship God. So, with the intervention and wisdom and cooperation of Odalije and Ndomenan and Anywa, the younger ones, the biggest issue was how do we separate the issue of religion from the entire project. Not throw it away, but luckily for us, with understanding and intervention of Odalije, and interface of Odalije and Omenan and Anywa, we were able, because we noticed that there's need to allow Ndomenan do their religious rights, because it's a right, it's entrenched in the constitution. So it was possible to let them do what they want to do with it and allow us drive the entertainment, the other aspects.
Wow. Oha nekwere ọkwa no nwere ko mere me na anya ashi Chineke ya biko nabata anyị ka anyị mere mee ka o doro nwoke mma doro nwaanyị mma nye megide nwoke nye megide nwaanyị like Igodo nwaanyị na-eme kịta anyị anaghị afụfụ Igodo fụhụ n'orie ụmụ nwaanyị ihe niile a na-eme nkiri onye na ọ bụ ihe eme na mana ihe niile bụ ihe na-eme reform oge mbụ onye ka edunwa na ya ndị behe efu ahụ anụkpere ajeti obe odo n'ogbu onye egbukwe onye na-achụrụ nwaanyị a na-ya erio mana kịta na ya anaghị eme ya.
But before the Reformation Committee embarked on this journey, something terrible happened in 2004.
When we had some ignorant and misguided religious extremists come and pump our youths into frenzy, making all sorts of speculation. The particular crusade that triggered the rumor that you're talking about was hosted in Ebonesa Bunugu. And in that particular crusade, a lot of innuendos and lies were peddled against our ancestors, saying that Odomagana is an occultic society that has held our people back. Now, yes, most of the youths from Ebonesa Bunugu believed the lies told by that particular religious fanatic. And as a result, they went and destroyed all structures symbolizing the Odo administrative framework in Ebonesa Bunugu. And as a result, they scared the custodians and administrators of the system of Ebonesa Bunugu.
On the issues of whether Odomagana hinders people's progress and takes away their destiny, some stakeholders in the community have this to say.
na chọrọ ịta ahụhụ na ọtawa ahụ ji ndị odo ka na obodo bụ ihe mere ihe odo emete a na-eme mmadụ agara ihu odo a na-eme mmadụ agara.
Has even progressed better. Our youths are doing better, if you ask me. So, but to be on the safe side, I would say that it's actually the same. Everybody is still progressing according to their efforts. So, Odomagana only enhances your ability to improve yourself and become a better version of yourself.
There have never been a lie as much as this. It's a lie and the fallacy that Odo, and it's an absurd imagination that Odo takes away, is satanic. It is not. It cannot be. Remember that before the white men came, we had an organized society. And the masquerade happened to be one of them.
Even though the purpose of reformation is to carry everyone along, it is still not all comers affair, because every male child must undergo what is known as Idunwa, which is the rite of passage for every male child of the community.
A woman cannot ordinarily walk into, like every other masquerade institution, a woman cannot just ordinarily walk into the Odo abode, you understand me, or to go and participate in bringing Odo masquerade out and things. So if you exclude...
Make you sure that Doran to from bush. Okay. I don't want to from bush, walk around Doran to from bush. I can't Doran to from bush and walk at it, or can do better, or can do that in the bed. Before now, Tonya go here. I thought why I go here. A cool, I do an article, a do money, the one I told them, made into from bush.
Odana is celebrated once in 2 years and has series of activities including Obano Tutu and Igodo. On the day of Obano Tutu, that is, the day of Zabulu masquerade, will appear for the first time. The youths work tirelessly to get the arena ready.
Our cultural heritage. Understanding the so I know when I had them make them and I generally want you got a selfless service when we have a member. The casino Bunaka, I'm here now, not going out with two with my commander. None of them will ever on your no she come out all like so carry him kitty. They have to botcha. So I have to home. And home says, who go big or require big or water major. No way, Tiva, Nija, Govana, one good on one more. Uchechia, Nagata, Yana, Gunanaji, Quangoromawa. Hiroji de Quag, one more. Hiroji de Quag, Nanaji, Quangoromawa. Oguna, yes, Buna. Oguna liya bune biko hobi mani yene mena wajike mero ngonye ajuwa kwa monyo kademiye onyo obodo onye kwemiye iya neburu na nyebu kwere.
Our culture is our heritage. Our heritage is our technology. Is the love handed over to us by our forebearers. We are here to do our culture and make sure that our culture is retained.
Culture is our heritage. I don't have to talk much about it. You know, what we are doing here is pure culture. And it's about love, understanding. It has been guiding us for years, and it will continue to guide us. You know, Oma Avolo Jalegba is a united community. Our youths are highly organized, very good people, no violence. We are not violent. Culture, this is what we are doing today. Is about love.
ma nwoke anyị na-apụta afọkwa n'obodo nwaanyị na-apụta na-ekiri ya were anyị maa aṅụrị ya ka Christmas anyị nwere be anyị.
After the Obana Otutu comes the Igodo Cultural Festival, a festival which brings back the sons and daughters of the community, as well as friends. On this day, variety of masquerade will appear at Obodimo, the arena for the display.
Thank you.
Omana bụ ihe mere mmadụ ndụ. Omana bụ ihe jike Chukwu okike jike mmadụ. Anyị wee fukute ndị ọzọ fukutewe oge anyị fukute ihe omewe omenala ihe Chukwu okike kere wee bụrụ omenala wee bụrụ mmadụ. Ya bụ na ijukọ amanụ masị na omenala bụ mmadụ. Anyị mmadụ bụ omenala. Na anyị na-emeta bụ omenala odobe anyị, omenala Igbodo, ebo Igbodo. Anyị bụ Igbodo, Igbodo bụ n'ugwu. Anyị nwebe ebo bụrụ odo ọzọ aji mara anyị. So na ihe anyị na-eme bụ omenala nna anyị ha ya bụ anyị na-eme ya bụ our culture and heritage.
You see, for us, culture is so important. For for every human being who come from a particular place, and we have cultures. So the culture is very important because it determines what you do as a person and what you do as a people. So, but recently, we the Igbos, we left our culture to embrace the religion of the white man.
It's important for us because it's our culture, serious culture. Our ancestors have done it and we are doing it. We cannot allow it to decay.
No, I was even discussing with my husband. There is no need to abolish culture. I like what they are doing. It's a way to take us back to where we belong because we started from somewhere. This is our culture and we must uphold to it.
So in the Odo culture, we have a feast today called Igodo.
Igodo is celebrating the Odo culture. So that is what we are doing today. We are trying to make it a universal thing. We are trying to make it a festival that can attract tourism, not only in Abor, not only in the Enugu state, but all over the world. You can see around you that the place is full, and it getting fuller every year. So that's what we try to develop. We make it a culture of our people.
According to some leaders of Abor, the Odomagana culture has impacted positively on young people of the community and inspired them in their different paths in life.
You have people like Kene, who is thriving now as one of the emerging musical artists in Nigeria. Okay? So, and you have people like Nation, Ubunna and Aboso, who is also following Kene's footsteps. And you have also people like Emeka Ugu, who is confidently doing his own art in photography and video coverage. You have Amechi Anaba, who is the one interviewing me now, who is also courageously doing his, thriving in his own trade. So that's the kind of enabling environment and confidence that Odomagana inspired in our people.
I dare say that Odomagana culture also contributed to the music, culture and the music artists, the music compositions that we've seen emanating from Abor as a whole, not just Omavolo. Like you talked about, the likes of Celeste Onoku, the likes of Kenelio and Nationwide and so on. Clearly, Odo culture did influence their music. But I would say that there are other aspects of our cultures that also brought about that influence or impacted the type of music that our people currently have.
The traditional ruler of Omavolo Jalegwa, His Royal Majesty Igwe Dr. Chike Onodugo, said even though some practices were done in the past, but it's also important and pertinent to carry everyone along in these modern times. He opined that there are certain practices that can no longer be practiced in today's modern culture.
We may not necessarily do it exactly the way our forebearers did, our forefathers did. No, we will have to do it in consonance with the times. And when we are Igodo, and when we go to welcome back our Odo, we have to be careful not to be doing it when school children are going to school, because that will impact their education. We want to be very careful not to do it when people are going to work. We don't want to impact their work. So our culture has to now evolve with the times.
These days too, at times when you say women should not come out, they should not participate in it, they should not go to farm, they should not. You don't do such things again in a modern Nigeria or in a modern day Abor. You understand me? Like those days, sanitation, certain Odo perform sanitation function, but it's not possible these days again. You cannot compel a woman who is a civil servant to leave what she's doing and come and begin to sweep environment or something before you leave and things. But generally anyway, I would say that it's still relevant in certain aspects. And it also reminds us of how to behave well, of how to do certain, let me say something. There is something that Odo did that an average man in our place who is initiated is encouraged to keep secret.
The organizers, led by the Chief Medical Director, University Teaching Hospital, UNTH, Enugu, Professor Obi Nonodugo, envisaged that this culture will not only attract development to the community, but also will be a choice destination for tourism in the nearest future. They equally encouraged the government to key in the cultural development in the community.
An amphitheater where we shall actually be having the real concerts, where a number of our Odomagana will actually showcase their talents, their dancing talents, their speech talents, and so on and so forth. So we want to have an amphitheater. Then we also want to have peripheral relic deposits in the different communities. So these are the things I want to do. And so that this place can actually become a hub. Once in 2 years, for a week, for instance, everybody knows that the destination is Abor. They come here and they stay with us and they enjoy the activities of Odomagana with us. And so they will all go back, fully reassured that our forefathers were positive men and women of value.
Odo has gone beyond the local something. You saw what happened during Igodo 2 days ago. Yes. The arena itself, we are beginning to think outside the box. We are beginning to feel that place can no longer contain our other activities. We may send it to the field there, to the open field, so that people can have opportunity of actually seeing, beholding the Odo the way they want to see Odo. So the reformation has actually come to stay. Those things that make people to run away from Odo, participating in Odo, we've removed them. So everybody is now participating fully, both male, female, everybody. You understand? Even Christians, they come out to participate because they know there is nothing fetish. Odo is not God. So I don't think that anybody now in this modern time that we say that Odo is God. But if anybody says that Odo is God, so be it with him.
Our government is most of them are totally ignorant and clueless about what governance should be. Governance should go from bottom up. So whoever is leading a community should also be the chief security officer of that community, and should be given the responsibility to do whatever they can to protect the community, and only ask for government support where they feel it is necessary.
Culture is the people's way of life. But what happens when the people abandon their culture or let it go into extinction? The people of Abor says the culture has come to stay and can only get better. Indeed, it is their heritage, and they are proud to have one because the people without a culture is a lost people.
Igodo Jalegwa II inspired people like Dube Munjeze, Engineer Dube Munjeze, people like Ikenna Iledago, and even his own biological children, Ekochi, Emeka, and Enechi, and so on, and other cousins, Obiora, all of them. So it was Dube Munjeze and Ikenna Iledago that came to actually look for me. I want to thank them in a special way. And I want to thank the person that told them to look for me. The person that told them to look for me happens to be my brother-in-law, Dr. Obiora Anede. So they came to look for me because I had a conversation with Obiora Anede. So I want to thank these people about the role they played in getting us all on board. So this was in 2008, 2007, we formed Nkukuro and Okoro. It was a group of young people that felt, look, you know what? There's nothing wrong with everybody coexisting. We can all coexist and prosper together. And so we formed ourselves and we advanced, and then we came to a point where we realized that, look, we also needed to get some older people on board. And so I was the chairman of Nkukuro and Okoro, but I decided to become the secretary of the the first Omavo Cultural Reform Committee that we formed then, to be chaired by Dr. Obiora Anede. Obiora Anede became the chairman and I became the secretary. So I want to thank Obiora Anede for the way he masterfully set the stage for the first Igodo festival that we did. And it was that template that we formed then that we have continued to improve upon. I also want to thank somebody like Chief Matthew Obodechi, who has been a rock behind us all. He hasn't been a chairman or anything, but he has been a major stalwart. I want to thank his younger brother, Osi Obodechi, who became chairman after Obiora Anede. These are people that really put in their weight, you know, and made sure that things worked the way they have worked. I want to thank those that have heard, so many of them. Ikenna Ndo, who has been the secretary for years now. I've been chairman for about 7 years now, and a number of people have helped me. A number of people. I want to thank Igodo Jalegwa, well, Igwe elect, the soon to be Igodo Jalegwa III, my elder brother, Igwe Chike, Chief Chike Olodugo, Ezednobi. Igwe by equity, of course. So he has been a major rock too. He has been solidly behind me. He has been supporting us. He has been supporting all the things that we've been doing. A lot of people have donated money. People like Greg Kowa, Greg Ibokede, Olive Ibokede, you know, a number of people, the Njezes, Dr. Gable Njeze, and so Frank Njeze. So many people that are too numerous to mention. And of course, I will not forget our wives. So I also want to thank our wives. I want to thank my darling wife, Nkiru Onodugo. She has been fantastic because, you know, if she did not support me, it may have been difficult for me to do all the things I've done. And for us, also, all our wives, really, they have been wonderful. All of them. And even our mothers have been solid. The resource persons, you know, we bring ideas, we bring money, but some people actually also bring their physical talents in so many diverse ways. I thank them immensely for all the things they've done. I want to thank the community, you know, in general.
I want to keep them because, you know, I became better who don't know. Or give you a cabin, Bob, man happened to reform my way at the Kitonian or Gavani who get out now, this one of a number of a one. So now, I may use waken a canal from an animal, more from near Haneme, the Ma, Kona Gani. No, Hanny Chetty, I want the so I hope.
I would like to pay tribute to Odana, our former Igwe, the late Royal Majesty Igwe Njeze, who made very sure, who fought, you know, who worked very, very hard to ensure that we still have this culture, Odomagana culture. Of course, he didn't do it alone. He did it through the instrumentality of the Omavulu Cultural Reform Committee and other well-meaning Omavulu sons. And that is why we still have this culture today.
Igodo anyị bụ nwa nyaba anyị na-emeneme ọ dịbe ndụ dọkwara ahụ kebe anyị dọkwara anyị oyiriri origo orio banyere ebe mmadụ nwe onye kapakwa kapa ya kama ebe amụka nọ nwe onye kafukwa kafu ya kama ọ bụ gana na ha ọ bụ gana na jọ ọwụ igodo anyị bụ nwa nyaba anyị na-emene ụjara igwe were ewuo ndị mụrụ m ọ dara ije bụ nwa igwe ụjara ịgwa na-ekele ekwe onye chiri nya zeri ma nwodo na agụ